November 5th, 2018, and you're watching OC News. Coming up on today's show, tomorrow's election day, and we've got a jam-packed show full of coverage on the hottest races.
Also, an unfortunate ending to what was supposed to be the happiest day of a newlywed couple's life.
Which movies topped the box office over the weekend, and Rihanna says to stop the music or else.
A holiday classic is releasing some tasty treats this season. Find out what it is.
All this and more when OC News starts now.
Thank you for joining us at OC News. I'm Leslie Kano.
And I'm Genesis Chicas. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
Midterm elections are tomorrow, and reporter Carlos Andrade has all you need to know on how to go out and vote. Carlos, over to you.
I'm here live on Cal State Fullerton campus out front of the Alumni House, where on Tuesday, November 6th, Election Day will be held as a voting location to those who live in the area. Conditional voting will be available to those whose voting location is not the Alumni House. Conditional voter registration extends the existing 15-day registration deadline in California to eligible voters, allowing them to register and vote provisionally 14 days prior to election as well as Election Day. You can simply walk in anytime between 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. with any state-issue ID or passport. Students can continue to take action by voting before November 6th at their designated voting location. Other nearby polling locations are at the Brea Mall in Brea, Anaheim City Hall, as well as Orange County Registrar of Voters office in Santa Ana, and as well as your Fullerton Community Center. For more information on when and where to vote, please visit ocvote.com, and remember that every vote matters. Now let's head back to Genesis as she heads more into depth on what you can find on your new ballot. I've been Carlos Andrade. This is OC News.
Last-minute campaigning is in full swing as we head to the polls starting at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. One of the big races we will be deciding is the next governor of California. Democrat Gavin Newsom is the favorite to win. Newsom is currently the state's lieutenant governor, or he holds a large polling lead over his Republican challenger, John Cox. Cox is a San Diego businessman. A Channel 7 Eyewitness News poll showed Newsom with 53% of the vote and Cox with 38%. Two of the most hotly debated props on the ballot are Proposition 8 and Proposition 6. Voting yes on Prop 6 would repeal a 12-cent gas tax and an increase in vehicle registration that took effect a year ago. The money was embarked to fix roads and provide better transit programs. The construction industry and firefighting unions oppose repealing the measure. Those who are campaigning for a yes vote on the prop say living in California is expensive enough and we can't afford extra taxes. Voting no keeps the tax right where it is. Prop 8 deals with profits at kidney dialysis clinics. If passed, it would cap profits by using a formula. Those in favor of Prop 8 say big dialysis companies are making huge profits. The Democratic Party and veterans say a yes vote would stop the companies from overcharging and would help provide quality care for patients. But those against the prop, which includes nurses, doctors, and physicians, say many clinics forced to close if the prop passes. Many people without functioning kidneys depend on the clinics, and those against the prop say it would increase costs for taxpayers and reduce access to care because clinics would have to close.
If you need a ride to the polls tomorrow, there are plenty of ways to get a free or discounted ride. Uber and Lyft are offering free rides in some of the underserved communities in Southern California. For everyone else, use the code VOTER 2018 for up to 50% off your ride. The Metro Line trains and buses will be free tomorrow, and if you're looking for something sweet, just show your I voted sticker at any Krispy Kreme store for a free donut. With elections tomorrow, President Trump is making his final stops, encouraging everyone to go out and vote in what many consider to be a crucial election year. CNN's Karen Kaifa has the latest.
President Trump taking on the midterms with a final blitz of 11 rallies in 6 days.
This is one of the most important elections of our entire lives.
The president seizing on immigration fears in the final days to motivate voters in border states like Arizona, Nevada, and Texas, and hitting states that went his way in 2016, Missouri, West Virginia, Indiana, and Tennessee. All crucial to control of the U.S. Senate. With 35 seats on the ballot, Democrats need a net gain of 2, a goal that became more politically complex after the Supreme Court confirmation battle over Brett Kavanaugh energized Republicans.
This is an opportunity, I think, to have a long-term impact on the country.
But Republicans also face the headwinds that come with a president with approval ratings below 50% and whose incendiary rhetoric may alienate moderates, women, and independents.
Healthcare is on the ballot. You vote, you might save a life.
Democrats see an opportunity with a message of protecting healthcare and entitlement programs in Republican crosshairs.
We need to fix it. We need to strengthen the Affordable Care Act, not dismantle it. And that's what our new leaders will do.
Suburban districts will be key to whether they make the net gain of 23 seats needed to flip the House. That's where Republicans will lean on their record, highlighting low unemployment and the economy.
Just hours before the crucial midterm elections, some prominent political figures, including Kamala Harris, are turning out in California and Arizona to give last-minute support for some of the most closely watched races. Here's CNN's Young La.
Only hours left in the battle for Southern California's 45th district.
Are you ready for a representative who fights for you?
Democratic challenger Katie Porter is rallying her troops.
Senator Kamala Harris!
With some senatorial star power in a U.S. House race too close to call.
We need our strongest soldiers on the field.
With just one last weekend, volunteers are grabbing clipboards, pounding the pavement, hitting houses, like Democratic volunteer Jennifer Coe and her 7-year-old son, Quincy.
Do you feel that this last push by you is going to make a difference?
I mean, I'm going to do what I can. You know, I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to see the election go the other way and see the other candidate win and think that I could have done a little bit of something this weekend to make that difference.
Thank you. To all your friends, thanks a lot.
Republican Congresswoman Mimi Walters is not just on defense, but offense to save her job and keep this district red.
Is it a fast and furious fight to try to convince those last holdouts?
You have to work really hard for every single vote. Every vote counts. And so what we're doing is we are making contact with every single voter and making sure that those people who support me turn out to the polls.
My name is Dakota. I volunteer at the Congressional Leadership Fund, and we're just calling voters.
Republican volunteers arrive early.
The number of people we're looking at here is pretty surprising, given that it's 10 a.m.
10 a.m. on
a Saturday, and you have young people.
Yeah, there's a lot of enthusiasm, and we've seen that in our offices across the country, and that's what's leading to these 30 million voter contacts in an election cycle.
In this last weekend, get out the vote means get to the people, especially in toss-up races. Arizona Senate candidate Martha McSally
Get your carbo and protein load here.
is serving her closing message with pancakes. She's locked in a tight race with Democrat Kyrsten Sinema, one of the states in the battle for control of the Senate.
This is a very important election.
Both parties are sending out their heavy hitters, crisscrossing the country. The president hit Georgia for Republican gubernatorial candidate Brian Kemp.
There's got to be consequences when people don't tell the truth.
In Indiana, former President Obama campaigned with Democrat Joe Donnelly. A marathon midterm season, finishing with one final sprint.
There's so many races that are too close to call. What is it going to take to push it over the finish line?
It's going to take people getting out to vote. This election cycle, what I'm experiencing is that people realize that they actually have to vote if they want to influence the outcome.
A tragic end to what was supposed to be a happy celebration. Just an hour after their wedding, a couple was killed in a helicopter crash. It happened over the weekend in Uvalde, Texas, about 80 miles west of San Antonio. Deborah Wrigley has the story.
Bailey Ackerman and William Byler III were classmates at Sam Houston State, and they were in love. Members of the university's rodeo team, they enjoyed the Western lifestyle, the outdoors, and last year they were engaged. Byler, the son of the owner of Houston-based W.T. Byler Construction, Their wedding held Saturday at his family's ranch in Uvalde. Rather than leaving in a car, they opted for a helicopter ride to their wedding night hotel when less than 2 hours after they said, "I do the unthinkable." A post from a wedding guest read, "We celebrated their fairy tale wedding and they were surrounded by family and friends as they flew off in the family helicopter. Sadly, they crashed into the side of a hill about a mile from the ranch. The pilot, Jerry, also on board. There were no survivors." The family remains in the hill country, mourning the deaths of a couple whose life together ended before it could begin. Deborah Rickley, 13 Eyewitness News.
A Costa Mesa fire captain has died after being struck by an alleged DUI driver. Captain Mike Creza was hit by a van Saturday morning while cycling in Mission Viejo. He was taken to a local hospital after being found unresponsive at the scene. Costa Mesa Fire and Rescue announced his passing this morning, saying in part, "Words cannot describe the immeasurable heartache felt by his friends and his family, including his fire family." The driver, Stephen Taylor Scarpa, was allegedly driving under the influence of a controlled substance. Scarpa remained at the scene of the accident and was arrested on suspicion of felony DUI. A GoFundMe page for Creza's family has been made. He was married and had 3 daughters. It's November, but it sure doesn't feel like fall. Find out how long this warm weather is going to last.
And a major rock band has made a comeback and topped the box office charts over the weekend. Stay tuned.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hello, welcome back to OC News, and now for the weather. Now, we're actually looking at current temperatures right now here at Fullerton. Currently, we're at around a 76, going into more, and the low for today was 58, with winds at 8 miles per hour. And then as you can kind of see over here, our humidity is actually around 48. Now, daylight savings times did end this Sunday, so just expect the days to be kind of darker later on throughout the week, and of course, as the holidays come about. But of course, the sunset did come today around 4:55. Now moving on to the weekly weather. As you can see, although we are starting off with 70-degree weather, just actually expect the week to get a little bit warmer, actually a lot warmer. We're still looking at those kind of summer, not so much fall temperatures for the moment, so keep those jackets still in those closets. And of course, going on to national, as you can see, the top part of the nation is still experiencing those winter, rainy kind of weather temperatures. As you can see, Seattle at 56, even Cut Bank is actually going around 31, going into those more weather-like temperatures. And then, of course, if you look more into the northeastern states, we see that we have Boston and New York kind of rainy, still cloudy, and then going more into the lower part of the country, we see that, San Francisco, Phoenix, still around those sunny temperatures. Phoenix is actually coming around an 82. And then a little bit kind of different on the other side of the country. You can kind of notice that there's still some of those 80-degree kind of warm weathers. The only difference is you actually see that it's a little bit more partly cloudy, a little bit more cloudy type of sky versus the West Coast. That's all I have for today's weather. Back to you in the studio.
Ariana Grande has a lot of attention over this weekend, and she wasn't the only one bringing it upon herself. Aisling Anselin is here for the latest entertainment news. Aisling?
There's always a lot going on in the entertainment sphere, but with the midterms coming up, guess who was added to the list of musicians that refused to allow Trump to play their music at his rallies? Rihanna is the latest artist added to the list along with Steven Tyler, Prince, Pharrell, and Queen. Rihanna was notified via Twitter by Philip Rucker, the White House Bureau chief at the Washington Post, who tweeted that her Don't Stop the Music was playing at a rally in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Within 2 hours, Rihanna had responded and said not for much longer, and it was confirmed that she had served Trump a notice about playing her music.
How was that?
Hiya. Bohemian Rhapsody, the biopic on the British rock band Queen, soared higher than expected, debuting atop the chart with $50 million.
Bohemian Rhapsody, the biopic of Freddie Mercury, the frontman of the band Queen, did much better than it was projected. The movie's opening weekend was projected to do $35 million, but did $50 million in the US and $70 million worldwide. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 60% fresh ranking, while the median score is 49 from the highly critical site. Ariana Grande's life has been in the spotlight heavily for the last year and a half. The pop star has been through a terrorist attack, a heavy breakup, the death of an ex, and an engagement breakup. She released a new song Saturday night right before SNL called Thank You Next, right before ex-fiancé Pete Davidson addressed the breakup during the show. The No Tears Left to Cry singer has been through it all, but her new song carries light and loving lyrics. The pre-chorus reading, I've got so much love, got so much patience. I've learned from the pain, I've turned out amazing. I've loved and I've lost, but that's not what I see, 'cause look what I found, ain't no need for searching. She also repeatedly thanks her exes, including rapper Big Sean, Pete Davidson, and wishes she could thank late rapper Mac Miller. Mac Miller passed away on September 7th, and it was confirmed that it was a deadly overdose of cocaine, fentanyl, and alcohol. While she has been through so much in the last year, Grande seems to be pushing through it all with the help of therapy, a loving heart, and a positive outlook on life. Thanks for joining me on Entertainment. I'm Aisling Anselin. Back to you guys at the desk.
After the break, there was a major upset in LA for one of our major sports team. Alex is here with reactions and to keep us informed on the latest sports news.
And one of our favorite holiday films is coming out with a new treat. Here's a hint. It involves one of the 4 main food groups: candy, 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 candy corns, and syrup. We'll see you after the break.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
What if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
The Los Angeles Rams took a major upset in yesterday's game, and the Ducks mounted a comeback in overtime. Alex Lustig is here with your sports update.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another installment of the sports segment. There is a lot to discuss with the NFL, NHL, and NBA from the past weekend. We start with breaking news. The Bengals have swapped out Christian Hackenberg for quarterback Connor Cook on the practice squad. More information to follow. Let's dig right into the highlights from this past weekend. The Rams went to New Orleans yesterday looking to stay undefeated. Todd Gurley late in the first quarter runs this 7-yard touchdown, and the game is tied at 7. Later on, Drew Brees finds Alvin Kamara for a 16-yard touchdown pass, and Who Dat Nation leads at 17 at the end of the first. Check this play out. The Rams attempt a 34-yard field goal, but fake it and try to run for the first down. The play was challenged but ruled short. Kamara runs one in for a 1-yarder, and the Saints lead 35-14 at the half. The Rams made a comeback in the second half, but it wasn't enough. Goff would find Coop for this 42-yard strike to tie up the game at 35. Breeze found Michael Thomas, and he could go all the way for this 72-yard touchdown, but the celebration was the highlight of the game. He pulls out a phone under the upright, and honors former Saint Joe Horn. Moving on to the Saints and the Seahawks. Russell Wilson has to flush out of the pocket and finds Jared Brown for a 10-yard touchdown pass. What a catch in the back of the end zone. Early on in the second quarter, Melvin Gordon takes one to the house for this 32-yard rush, and the Bolts lead 12-7. Going into the half, Russell Wilson throws a 42-yard interception that would reach the sticks by Desmond King, and the Seahawks would trail by 2 scores. They'd have one more chance to try to tie up the game, but the pass gets swatted down, and the Chargers would win 25-17. Going to the field from the hardwood, the Lakers take on the Raptors and play at the Staples Center last night. Toronto's Serge Ibaka went off for 34 points last night, which was a big trouble to the Lakers' defense. Toronto was up 72-49 at the half. However, LeBron and the team would try and make a comeback, and the Lakers would fall short, and the final score was 121-107. How about some action on the ice between the Ducks and the Blue Jackets? Second period of action, Columbus strikes first on this goal by Dubois. Ducks fans, I have 2 words for you. Cam Fowler. He would not score once, not twice, but 3 times, including the overtime winner, and the Ducks would win 3-2. That's all I got for today's sports segment. Back to Genesis and Leslie behind the desk.
Spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Even though Christmas is a little less than 2 months away, the cookie company, Pillsbury, is already in the Christmas spirit, releasing ready-to-bake sugar cookies based off the 2003 popular holiday film Elf, starring Will Ferrell, being that the film's main character, Buddy, is obsessed with all things sugar. It's no wonder that these cookies feature his green and yellow elf hat. These cookies commemorate the 15th anniversary of the film's release. So, if you're looking to add one more sugary item to your list to impress Santa, you can find these cookies at your local Target or Walmart. This has got us singing early. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the show.
And don't forget to follow us on our social media at CSUF OC News.
And just a reminder, tomorrow is Election Day. Don't forget to get out there and vote. Make your voice heard.
From all of us here at OC News, we hope you have a great day. See you on Wednesday.
OC News is sponsored in part by Univision Communications, Southwest Airlines, and Casanova McCann.